In the enchanting corners of Portugal, where the whisper of the waves dances with the song of the mountains, lies a world of mysteries and timeless splendors. Today, we set out to discover captivating landscapes where medieval castles proudly stand on hilltops and pastel-colored palaces seem straight out of a fairy tale. We will first explore Sintra and its treasures, silent witnesses of the centuries gone by. We will then let ourselves be carried away by the coastal charm of Cascais, where the blue color of the Atlantic Ocean blends with the infinite horizon. Between the green hills and the blue ocean, we embark on a journey through two jewels of Portugal, Sintra and Cascais. During our recent journey to Portugal, Sintra was prominently featured on our itinerary of destinations to explore. Our expedition took an unexpected turn when Civitatis reached out to us for a collaboration. Consequently, this visit was sponsored as part of a partnership with this global online platform specializing in the reservation of activities and guided tours. We were thus given the opportunity to experience a memorable day in Sintra, accompanied by passionate experts. One sure thing, exploring Sintra with a guide enhances the experience, uncovering stories and details known only to insiders. For those interested in experiencing a similar journey on your next trip, we invite you to click on the link in the description to book your tour. Our day begins with a meeting at 8 a.m. at Plaza Don Pedro IV in Lisbon, in front of the National Theatre. We meet our guide, Ricardo, and head towards Sintra for a day of sightseeing. On the agenda are Sintra, the Peña Palace, the Quinta da Regaleira, and Cascais. We arrive in Sintra, a city renowned for its fairy tale palaces and mystical landscapes, located 25 kilometers northwest of Lisbon. In 1995, UNESCO classified the city as a cultural heritage of humanity in the category of cultural landscape. Let me tell you, the day is going to be packed. After the Muslim conquest of the Iberian Peninsula in 711, the city of Sintra was integrated into the Emirate and then the Caliphate of Cordoba, the famous Spanish city which you'll find a movie about in the description. Two of Sintra's main monuments, the Moorish Castle and the National Palace, as well as the city itself, date back to the Muslim period. And precisely, we find ourselves in the heart of the city, where proudly stands in front of us the National Palace of Sintra. This medieval royal palace is known for its distinctive conical chimneys and magnificent decorative azuleros. The National Palace has been a royal residence for nearly 8 centuries. Each king added their personal touch, making it a living tapestry of Portuguese history. The Hall of the Swans and the Hall of the Magpies, with their elaborate frescoes, are particularly captivating. Like the rest of the Lisbon region, Sintra fell into the hands of the Catholic King Alfonso I of Portugal, the first king of the country, in 1147, aided by an army of English and Flemish crusaders during the Reconquista. This event marked the beginning of the construction of convents and monasteries in the Serra. From the 15th century onwards, as the palace became one of the main holiday destinations of the court, the town became enriched with numerous villas erected by the Lisbon aristocracy. In 1808, it was in Sintra that the convention was signed to restore peace after the invasion of Portugal by the French army. The town became one of the highlights of Romantic architecture. The English poet Lord Byron made numerous stays there. Prince Ferdinand of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha of Bavaria bought the ruins of the old monastery of Our Lady of the Rock. Built in 1503, and undertook the construction of the city's most emblematic palace, the Peña Palace, a dazzling blend of bright colors and eclectic architecture proudly standing atop a hill. The setting of the city greatly contributed to the enthusiasm of the whole of Europe for this town. After a few minutes' walk, it's in a picturesque setting that one finds on the outskirts of the historic center of Sintra, the Quinta da Regaleira. There is very little information on the origins of the estate before it was purchased by Antonio Augusto de Carvalho Monteiro, a wealthy Portuguese businessman fascinated by alchemy, Freemasonry, and esotericism. He expanded the estate with the purchase of several neighboring plots and undertook the construction of the palace between 1904 and 1910. Heavily influenced by the neo-Manueline spirit of the time, developed from Spanish Gothic, itself derived from French Gothic. This is a style characterized by exuberant and highly eclectic decoration. He commissioned this project to the Italian architect and set designer Luigi Manini. The culture and creativity of these two personalities gave rise to an eclectic and revivalist architectural ensemble with a particular emphasis of Manueline, Renaissance, medieval, and classical styles. Every corner of this estate is thus filled with symbolism. Its lush gardens of 4 hectares form a labyrinth of hidden passages and mystical sculptures, culminating in the initiation well, a kind of inverted tower composed of a spiral staircase descending 27 meters deep. Legend has it that this was built for secret ceremonies. Symbolically, this well leads the initiate from darkness to light, passing through 9 levels, which, according to various interpretations, represents the 9 circles of Dante's Inferno. At the bottom of the well lies a mysterious marble compass rose, placed on the Templar's cross, dear to Montero. Finally, the last stage of the journey, at the bottom of the well, one can enter a labyrinth of narrow caves. This monument is said to have also served as a venue for mysterious initiation rites, for which the descent into the well was done in complete darkness, with initiates having to find their way out by themselves. We emerge from the well at the bottom of the garden, where we admire its fountains, pathways, and lush vegetation. Quinta da Regaleira is far from having revealed all its mysteries, and as Ricardo indicates, many elements remain unexplained today. Above all, it's a unique visit in Europe, inviting visitors to discover its many layers of meaning, such as the Gate of the Guardians, which is full of details like these difficult-to-identify animals, protecting a baby in a shell, representing a woman's uterus. In short, there are details everywhere, and if you don't want to completely miss the interest of this place, a guided tour is essential. References to alchemy, Freemasonry, and the Templars are numerous, both in the palace architecture and in the design of the surrounding park. Most of the constructions as we know them today in the Regaleira were completed in 1910. Here, you'll find the fascinating chapel, the Goth promenade, and of course, the palace. In 1942, the property was sold to Waldemar Doré, who carried out minor works to improve his family's comfort without degrading or radically modifying the site. In 1987, the property was sold to the Japanese company Aoki Corporation and ceased to serve as a residence. The site remained closed to the public during this period. Only the staff responsible for the property and the palace had access. In 1997, the estate was purchased by the municipality of Sintra. After this guided tour, our guide leaves us a moment to wander through the myriad paths with secret entrances, underground galleries, and caves, evoking the labyrinths, a symbol of the initiatory journey. And we return to the center of Sintra to taste the famous travesseiros, a traditional pastry of the city made from a thin and crispy puff pastry filled with a sweet cream made from almond paste, eggs, and sugar. Simply delicious. We board our bus to go to the Peña Palace, which was ordered by King Ferdinand II in the mid-19th century. Ferdinand II was one of the most cultured men in Portugal in the 19th century. A polyglot, he mastered German, Hungarian, French, English, Spanish, Italian, and of course Portuguese. As a child, while he was still Duke of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, he received a careful education where the arts, especially music and drawing, played a fundamental role. Throughout his life, he was closely connected to the arts as an author, collector, and patron, which is why he was nicknamed the Artist King. It's a true romantic masterpiece, blending the Gothic, Renaissance, and Manueline styles of Portuguese art with its red buildings, Moorish influences, as well as the Wagnerian spirit of the Schinkel castles in Central Europe with its yellow buildings. Located on one of the steep summits of Sintra Mountain, it integrates in a happy and unexpected way into its backdrop of rocks and greenery. It symbolizes the king's love for the art and his vision of a dream refuge, an exuberant and richly colorful building. Its construction began in 1839 after purchasing the ruins of a 15th century monastery and was completed in 1885, the year of the king's death. Some elements of the old monastery, the red buildings, which were greatly damaged by an earthquake in 1755, were restored starting from 1840. Around 1850, he decided to add a new palace to it, the yellow building. The palace then became the summer residence of the royal family. Following the king's orders, the area of the old monastery was painted in red and the new palace in yellow. Combining national styles, neo-romantic, neo-Gothic and Manueline, with Eastern styles, neo-Moorish and Indian, this eclectic mix of towers, terraces, levels, and various constructions creates a harmonious whole unique in Southern Europe, offering a surprising decor worthy of a Disney movie. This palace is surrounded by a park that includes more than 2,000 species of trees and exotic plants from all over the world. One enters the palace through a Moorish gate leading to an inner courtyard. There, one finds the Triton Arch, decorated with neo-Manueline details, and neo-Romanticism. Inside the palace is a treasure trove of meticulous details, each room telling a story of royal life and artistic grandeur. There are a lot of spaces to discover, like for example the cloister Manueline, the Great Hall, which was the largest leisure and socialization area in the palace, the sitting room with an incredible trompe-l'œil painting, or the stag room where banquets were held. Outside the castle, one can stroll along the battlement path designed for royal promenades. Its various balconies offers magnificent panoramic views, notably on the Moorish castle, Quinta da Regaleira, and the Atlantic coasts. We leave the hills of Sintra and head towards Cascais, a charming seaside town on the Portuguese coast. The old town is an enchanting maze of narrow streets with shops and cafes. We cross the city center towards the harbor. Not far from there, we find Praia de Réunion, a small beach that was chosen in 1889 by Queen Amelia to become her private beach. From there, you can see the Palacio da Pena, one of the iconic buildings of Cascais. Just next to it is the city's port, which gained importance in the late 19th century when King Louis I made it his summer residence. Since then, the city has become a fashionable seaside resort for the European elite. We also discover the citadel, a set of fortifications built between the 15th and 17th centuries to defend the coast of Cascais and the Tagus estuary, but also to protect against attacks on Lisbon. Saddle up, your glory bound. And we couldn't visit Cascais without finding the perfect postcard view with the magnificent sight of the Santa Maria Lighthouse. In conclusion, we can say that we have been enchanted by the historical and cultural richness of these places. The visit to Quinta da Regaleira plunged us into a mystical universe with its lush gardens and enigmatic construction. The Peña Palace, with its vibrant colors and eclectic architecture, offered us breathtaking views and an immersion into the romanticism of the 19th century. Finally, Cascais charmed us with its picturesque beaches and seaside atmosphere. All of this was made possible thanks to our collaboration with Civitatis, which managed to organize a perfect and enriching itinerary. Sintra and Cascais proved to be must-visit destinations where history, nature, and beauty converge for the greatest pleasure of our eyes. See you soon for new discoveries. Pack it up, your glory bound.